welcome back to Music Time Capsule. We preface today's episode by saying we're huge Pink Floyd fans. Roger Waters is one of music's most brilliant songwriters, the creative mind behind much of Pink Floyd's most iconic work. Yet, in recent decades, he's also become one of the most polarizing figures in music. On today's episode, we break down why. The longest and most publicised feud is Roger fighting with David Gilmour. This was a battle of egos and the classic artistic visions not aligning. A key flashpoint occurred during the recording of Comfortably Numb, where a dispute over Gilmour's guitar solo mix revealed how disconnected they had become. Gilmour criticised Waters' mix as sloppy, while Waters felt Gilmour's version lacked emotion. They compromised, but the tension was unmistakable, and it symbolised how collaboration had broken down. Years later, Waters pointedly stated, "Dave and I are not mates. We never were, and I doubt we ever will be," cementing that reconciliation wasn't in his future. The fallout with Waters and Gilmour is well publicised, so let's move on to the next one. Thom Yorke of Radiohead and Roger Waters fell out publicly when Waters called Yorke a prick on TV.
I wasn't surprised because, as you may or may not know, I've had run-ins. I had quite a good exchange of emails with Thom Yorke, which it's from a few years ago when I wrote to Thom Yorke and made the case for observing the picket line and observing the cultural boycott and not going when they were going to go a few years ago to go and play, which they did, and they went and played in television. And he sent me back a slightly snide kind of answer, trying to be funny and clever and whatever. And so I wrote a reply, but I showed it to somebody who knows it, and they said, "Don't send that. That'll go way over his head, and also it'll upset him because you're suggesting that it might be the wrong thing to do to cross the picket line, and that he's wrong and you're right about something, and there's no way. You need to put on kid gloves and blah 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 blah." So I did. I wrote him a sort of email that went, "I'm sorry if you thought I was being confrontational and blah 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 blah." Right, and he wrote back and he said, "Normally people on the other side of an argument at least have the decency or the grace or the something to have a conversation." So then I wrote him back and I said, "Tom, we the people in BDS would love to have been trying to have a conversation with you for months, and so have I, and we would love to have a conversation at some time. So when you say that they won't have a conversation, that they just throw shit at you from far away, that is not true. It's a porky pie, my son. People have been trying to talk to you and you will not speak to any of it." Anyway, the exchange goes on quite a long time.
Yeah.
But it just
how did it end?
That the guy's a complete prick.
The next fallout we're highlighting is the issue Roger Waters and Nick Cave had. Roger Waters and Nick Cave clashed over the cultural boycott of Israel. Waters, a strong supporter of BDS, urged Cave to cancel his Tel Aviv shows, but Cave refused, calling the boycott bullying and censorship, and framing his performance as a stand for artistic freedom. Waters hit back, accusing Cave of ignoring human rights issues, sparking a public feud between the two musicians.
I have to declare that I'm not a huge fan of this Mr. Cave person for all the reasons that appear here. All right, so this is what I sent to The Independent. Let's see if they publish it or not. All right, I'm going to hold the phone up because I'm reading this off something in front of me. Here we go. "Dear Independent, here is my response to the Ozzy bloke. Nick Cave, Nick fucking Cave. All right. Fuck you, Nick. Fucking Cave, you fucking prick." I think that says it.
The most recent controversy fueling Roger Waters' divisive reputation involves none other than the Osbourne family. Just weeks after the death of Ozzy Osbourne, Waters took a swipe at the Black Sabbath frontman, dismissing his music entirely. The comments didn't just shock fans, they lit a firestorm, drawing a furious response from Ozzy's children, Jack and Kelly, who weren't about to let their father's legacy be disrespected.
It doesn't matter.
But I think
Ozzy Osbourne, who just died, bless
Yeah.
him, in his whatever that state that he was in his whole life, we'll never know. We didn't, although he was all over the TV for hundreds of years with his idiocy and nonsense. The music, I have no idea. I couldn't give a fuck. I don't care about Black Sabbath. I never did.
Right.
I have no interest in biting the heads off chickens or whatever they do. I couldn't care less. So I'm more
Just for
interested.
clarity, just for the sake of artistic integrity, I think it was a bat he bit the head off of.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, that's even worse,
Right.
isn't it? I don't know. Is it worse to bite the head off a bat or a chicken? I'm not sure. They're both pretty tricky.
Jack Osbourne posted on social media to defend his late father's honour, writing in a scathing post, "Hey Roger Waters, fuck you. How pathetic and out of touch you've become. The only way you seem to get attention these days is by vomiting out bullshit in the press. My father always thought you were a cunt. Thanks for proving him right." On this issue in particular, we think Roger Waters is absolutely vile. Not only has he upset Ozzy's family and fans, but knowing heavy metal fans, they'll turn on Waters too. It's disgusting attacking a legend who only passed away 6 weeks ago. What do you guys think of Roger Waters? We love his music, but dislike the person. It can be hard to separate the two. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep the music alive.